Hey boys and girls, luckySkillFaker here and welcome back to another Battlefield 4 video. So today we have an aggressive recon tutorial. I know lots of guys asked for this and here you go. Finally the day has come, I would say. But yeah, I got 3 quick points that I want to go over. First of all, we would have what is aggressive recon. I will basically explain what the playstyle is. After that we would have the class setup, so I will talk over my setup and setups I would suggest you guys that you can like try out and that just work with the playstyle. And last but not least, like the main part of this video would be how to play as an aggressive recon. I will talk about everything like spotting, running, accuracy, aiming, secondary movement, everything. But yeah, I would say let's get it started, and we should start out, as I've said before, with the explanation. So what is aggressive recon? So, aggressive recon actually means objective recon, so basically just a recon player who isn't sitting back, but who is like up front helping his team. He's arming the MCOMs, he's capping flags and everything. And yeah, it's actually called objective recon. The reason why it is called aggressive recon though is because you have to play really aggressively in order to just maintain the playstyle that is needed to be a very good up-close objective sniper, I guess. So a really good up-close objective recon with a bolt-action rifle. I know the bolt-action rifles are supposed to be used for like longer and further distances. However, if you're really good with aiming and everything and that, you will definitely be able to pull off good shots and everything, and just to be able to play the objective as a recon. And this playstyle is probably the hardest playstyle there is, because, as I've said before, bolt-action rifles aren't really meant to be like the upfront and personal kind of playstyle type. So it's really hard, but also really rewarding. And I guess everyone needs a good recon. And yeah, this is basically the explanation of what aggressive recon is. It's actually objective recon, but you have to play really aggressively in order to keep it up. Now for our second point, which would be the loadout. So right here you can see my class setup that I am using for the aggressive recon playstyle. I'm using the M48-5 with a 6x scope, green laser sight, the color doesn't really matter by the way. A straight pull bolt. For my secondary I'm using the compact 45 with a mini red dot, I guess, also a laser sight and the heavy barrel. And for the gadgets, right here it's getting interesting. I'm using the motion sensors. So as an aggressive recon, one of your really important things, just for everyone else it's the same. You have to spot. Spot, spot, spot. It's always the same. And for that you can either use the motion bolts, the tugs, or the MAV. Those are really the helpful ones. Personally, I like the motion bolts because they help you on the go, so they really suit and fit the aggressive recon playstyle. Besides that, I'm using the C4, so I got one, you could say, defensive gadget and a second aggressive gadget, which would be the C4 right here. Of course it helps with just dealing with vehicles if you're like getting up to them and you want to kill them. So those are really the 2 I would suggest you try out. Another really important thing though would be the radio beacon. If you're coming behind enemy lines and you just want to kill the people there, and you just want to like make your squad push up even more to push to the MCOMs or capture a flag or something, the radio beacon can really be important. So you kind of have to decide between those 3. Those are the main ones you want to kind of think about. Grenades and knife are basically not that important. You can use whatever you like or whatever suits you best. The mini grenades and the impact grenades though are, personally from my opinion, really good, because, well, the mini grenades you can throw kind of far, and the impact grenades are, well, exploding on impact, which means faster, always better, especially with the aggressive recon. Another really important thing, field upgrades. So for me the really best one is definitely the Spec Ops right here, as you can see. So again, as you can see, first you got the stealth undetected by motion sensors except when sprinting. You get more C4. It increases the maximum inventory of motion sensors to 5, or increase the range of the tugs. And last but not least, you will get the quick unspot, which means people won't be able to see you as long as they normally can. So this is my setup and loadout. This works for me. Now let's go over to all the other weapons that are actually very well suited for the aggressive recon playstyle, so I can just show you guys some more weapons you can kind of choose from. Now we have a little comparison by Synfic.com of all the bolt-action rifles in Battlefield 4 that are suited for the aggressive recon playstyle. So you can see the M48-5, FYJS, SV98, 338 Recon and the Scout Elite. So, they all have a starting damage of 100, which means you will get a one-hit kill everywhere except to the legs within 12.5 meters. For the FYJS and the Scout Elite, you will need 2 headshots or 1 headshot and 1 body shot, or 3 body shots after 90 meters. So they are specifically made for the aggressive recon playstyle within approximately 90 to 100 meters to kill your targets. All the other ones will get a 1-hit kill to the head, as we've known from, or as we know it from Battlefield 3. So one of the big good things of the M40A5 is it has a really high rate of fire of 60, which is the second fastest after the Scout Elite. Its only drawback really is the really slow muzzle velocity of 480 meters, which means again a slow bullet as well as a high bullet drop. But personally for me it just works really well because it's a good all-around rifle. You're always getting the one-hit kill headshots, and you have a high rate of fire, which is really important for the aggressive recon playstyle. The FYGS is an absolute headshot machine. It has a reduced bullet drop and a muzzle velocity of 630 meters per second, which is faster than the M200 intervention. So again, its only drawback is that you have to get more hits after 90 meters, but besides that, it's really one of the go-to rifles for the aggressive recon crowd. Another good thing of it would be that it has a rechamber time of 1.1 seconds, which is basically the same as the M40A5 had in Battlefield 3. Now for the SV98, one of the good things about the SV98 is that it has a tighter hip spread, and it basically has the same benefits as the M40A5, that you're always getting 1 kill to the head. Besides that, there isn't really much to the SV98, but I just feel like it's suiting the aggressive recon crowd. It works for me. Another reason for that would be the rechamber time of 1.25 seconds, which is also pretty fast. Next up we would have the 338 Recon. The hip spread right here is even tighter, and one of the big benefits of course would be that you get a better ADS, or aim down sights accuracy. So normally it's 1.5, with the 338 Recon it's 1.125, which means while aiming down sights, shooting and moving, you will be more accurate than if you would use any of the other bolt actions. Besides that, a drawback is that its magazine size is capped at 6. All the others previously had 11, and the Scout Elite also has 6, which we are talking about right now. So the muzzle velocity of the Scout Elite is even faster than the one of the FYGS. It's almost as fast as the M98B. Again, it also has the drawback of only having 6 rounds, and besides that it also has an increased bullet drop, as same goes for the SV98. But the really good thing about the Scout Elite, besides the low damage drop-off, would be the high rate of fire of 63 RPM, which is just insanely high. It's 0.93 seconds if I'm correct. So yeah, it's really fast and works really good for the aggressive recon playstyle. And those are the rifles I would suggest you to try out, but to be honest, it really comes down to personal preference. So if you have a rifle that you really like and that you want to use for a certain playstyle, just go with it, because it's all about practice. And if you feel really comfortable with a rifle, you should do that. For example, I've been playing lots of aggressive recon playstyle types, also with the L96 as well as the SRR61, the intervention. So it really comes down to personal preference, but just stats wise, those are the ones I would suggest you try out. Okay, now we're at the third step, and also our last step. So this one would be how to play as an aggressive recon. So first of all, as I've already said it, you're actually an objective recon. You always want to be up with your team, with your squad mates. You want to help and play the objective. A really important thing for that is throwing your motion balls or using the tugs so you can do the spotting. So again, spotting, definitely the most important thing. You're also kind of playing as a spec ops role, almost as an aggressive recon player, just from my point of view. So spotting is really the most important thing, helping your team. Essentially, you're a kind of a spec ops player with a bolt action rifle, you could say. Another thing to keep in mind when playing as an aggressive recon is the running accuracy. So after you run, you have to kind of hold in for like half a second or anything. Otherwise, you will get a random bullet deviation and your bullet will just fly off anywhere. Also, while you're moving, your shots are not 100% accurate while aiming down the sights. As I've said before, the 338 Recon is definitely the best way for this situation, because it almost has a 100% accuracy while moving and aiming at the same time. But besides that, you should always stand still while shooting. It will just improve your accuracy and pump it up to 100%, so you can just go for the headshot. Again, always go for the headshot. It's like the main thing you want to do as a sniper, or as a recon player. Now, aiming is really important, and for that, or to help you get better with your aim, of course, is always practice. I can't give you practice, you have to practice for yourself, but use the same scope and the same sensitivity. It just helps to your brain and your hand-eye coordination to just remember everything, to get better with it. And if your aiming gets better and better, you will succeed more and more as an aggressive recon player, because if you're close up, if you're playing the objective, and there's someone with a fully auto gun right in front of you, and your aim is not good enough to just instantly kill him, hit him to the chest, or just in the head, then you will really get problems. But sometimes you also don't have to have like the best aim. So for that, you can also have your secondary. So if you've hit him, but you haven't hit him like right, maybe you hit him in the leg, or he's using the defensive perk, which prevents the one-hit kills besides to the head, then you will have to finish him off with your secondary. And a good aggressive recon player should always kind of, well, I guess divide between his primary and his secondary, so you also should have like a 50-50% usage of the guns. So 50% primary and 50% sidearm or secondary. This means that you, well, obviously finish half the enemies with your sidearm. For sidearms, I would basically suggest you try out the shorty. Since we're playing the aggressive recon style, since we're always close up and personal, a shotgun is really the best thing you can have. Rex and Magnum are still kind of delayed, buggy, so not much sense in using them. You can, but it's just harder since you have the delay. But all the other pistols, especially the fully auto ones or semi-auto ones, or better said burst ones, like the Replica and the G18, are really, really good for finishing off targets. When you just hit them like once and damn, they're not down, just take out the pistol and spray them down. And that's really a way how you can play as an aggressive recon player and also keep up your stats, I would say, or just stay alive. Now, for the last tip that I can give you for, or as an aggressive recon player, would basically be the movement. So, the movement is basically the really the most important thing as an aggressive recon player. What you should do, and that not only applies to aggressive recons but to everything else, but it's especially important as an aggressive recon, is flanking. If you're always using the side flanks of a map, for example, you want to push up to an objective, it obviously makes no sense to just run straight across an open field. You want to move from the sides of the map, almost like near to the like out of bounds of the map, so you really want to keep your distance. You don't want to be seen until you choose to be seen, or until you do not choose to be seen. So yeah, by flanking you're just kind of, you could already say, sneaking up on them. So you want to move from cover to cover, and you always want to have like the jump on them, you want to have the advantage. This also helps, again, if your aim isn't like 100% accurate now, or just yet. Like this, you will catch them off guard, and it will be a lot easier to kill them. Besides that, I can just repeat that as an aggressive recon player, you always want to play the objective. While playing the objective, you're being an aggressive recon. And yeah, I think it's pretty much all for now, so I hope you enjoyed the video. LuckySkillFaker out.